So that happened. What a night in the NBA last night. First, you get the Knicks comeback. And look, Nick Nurse brought me championship. You guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you see the guy behind me there. So, like, obviously, forever indebted to the coaching stylings of Nick Nurse. That wasn't a timeout call. He's faking it. Like, maybe, do I want to? Do I not? So he has plausible deniability, right? If he's looking like he's maybe calling a timeout, so that if the exact scenario that plays out happens, then he can bitch and moan about it, which he's very good at. And if it doesn't happen and they get the inbound and fine, then I wasn't calling timeout. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't doing it. Thinking about it, wasn't doing it. Also, awful design on the inbound last night. Like, hey, we need to get the ball in to the guy who's going to be double teamed, and we're going to do nothing to try to free him up or anything like that. We're just going to run around like it's a high school game with everyone with their heads cut off and do that. But credit the Knicks for taking advantage, and Dante DiVincenzo with the double bang moment from Mike Breen last night, who is just one of the all-time greats when it comes to calling games. And we got two great examples of calling big moments last night from the association. But this was just spectacular from a Knicks standpoint. And it is, again, it's Tom Thibodeau and the coaching that he did, where it is just, you are playing to the last moment to continue to battle and find your ways to win. He did that, and I know it's all cliche, but now if you're the 76ers, it's like Bill Simmons said this about another game on the weekend, but now it kind of feels like you have to beat the Knicks 5 times to win this series. And like both of these, from a 76er standpoint and from a Lakers standpoint later in the night, I genuinely don't know how you recover from it. Now, both teams are heading home, so that helps at least a little bit, but it has to feel like an absolute dagger to get so close to having the entire series be different. And now you have to win 4 of your next 5 or your season's over. That has to be just heartbreaking. I do think you can take more from it if you are a 76ers fan or 76ers player than if you are a Laker, because like the Lakers, they don't have an answer. And it looked like they kind of had an answer when they were up by 20 and then they didn't. And this has happened a little bit in reverse at times in the last couple of these, where the game, it'll be close. The Nuggets are like, hey, we should win now. And then they win by like 15. They just spotted them 20 this time. It's like, oh man, we're far behind. We should win. Hey, okay, let's do it. And that's where they make up the 20. So eventually they go on a ridiculous run and kick the shit out of them. It's just they went on it later than normal. And Murray with an amazing shot over Anthony Davis. I personally would never have the confidence going up against one of the better defensive players in the league. It's like a foot taller than me to hit a fall-away jumper over him when I have the best player in the world also on my team. But credit Jamal Murray for that. Just an incredible shot. But yeah, from a Lakers standpoint, like, that felt like one you could have maybe stolen, and now you are heading back home, and you don't have to win in Denver again. You can win the 3 games you have at home, and now look at this. We take away the Nuggets' home court advantage, which is one of the great advantages in all of sports right now. So I think they're screwed. For the 76ers, you can at least take some solace in the fact that you have been able to do a really good job of shutting down Jalen Brunson. Now, the obvious counter to that is you've done a great job of shutting down Jalen Brunson, and you're still down 0-2. So the Knicks only now need 2 Brunson games to beat you, which is not great because he is capable of that. But they've done a great job of Brunson so far. 22 and 24 points. I went back and looked it up. The last time Brunson has gone back-to-back games without scoring 20 points was March 10th and 12th. Against Philadelphia. So they have done a great job the last couple of times of limiting Brunson. The problem is, again, they're still losing. So that's concerning, I would suggest, from a Philly standpoint, but at least they have the knowledge that the guy who has been lighting it up so far throughout the regular season is a guy who they have at least somewhat of an answer for as this series goes along. Now, I do think that Brunson is a good enough player that he can counterpunch this and figure it out. And also the Knicks have shown they are a good enough team that it's not just Brunson and the Blowfish. They have They have some guys who can step up. DiVincenzo, Hart making big shots in game one. Hartenstein with a phenomenal offensive rebound there. They have guys and they have built a roster of players who can step up in these big moments. And what a night. Just what an unbelievable night. Across sports, right? Like you get, I didn't talk about it, but you get the Carolina win where they're down by one with 2 minutes to go and they somehow win by two. You get the Leafs on a last second goal. Not last second goal, but a big late goal, beating the Boston Bruins. You have Mark Stone pissing off the entire hockey world and getting a goal. You get the two buzzer beaters in this game, and then Magic and Cavs played as well. But what an unbelievable night in sports.